Hi everybody, I'm Deni Ronbinson and I'm really excited tonight. We've got a special event and I've got my amazing dear friend Ray Higdon jumping on right here. And he's going to be bringing some of his best stuff tonight. And I'm so excited to be inviting him to come be with the team and share his vast knowledge with all of you tonight. Hi Tammy, thanks for jumping on. Felicia. We're just waiting right now for Ray to be jumping on. He's got some really great tips and points he wants to be sharing with all of you tonight. I have been following Ray now for a couple of years and I have learned so much. Just this last month also, I went to his amazing Rank Makers training over in Orlando, and it was really one of my most favorite events of the year. And the relationships I've made and the things I've learned have really become so invaluable as I built my business. Hey Ray, you ready? Let's jump you on here. Bring Ray on. Okay. Adding you. There you are.
Hey,
Hello, my friend.
what's
Hey.
happening? How are you?
Wonderful. Well, thanks for spending some time with us, even though you're in sunny Florida. And I really appreciate your time tonight. We've been talking about some topics we'd like to talk about, and just the validity of network marketing, what it can offer people, and what it can provide.
Yeah.
So over to you.
What? I'm sorry, say that again.
I said over to you.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see network marketing as the just best option for the average ordinary person to start a home business or start any kind of business. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes I'm speaking in front of non-network marketing crowds. And, like last year, I was at a Vegas mastermind where there were a whole bunch of big marketers. And I don't think there was one person in the room making less than $3 million a year, and none of them network marketing. And so they kind of, there were actually a little bit of snickers when they said that, oh, Ray's going to talk about network marketing, because I didn't know that many people in there. And so, I just started it off by saying, hey, listen, here's the deal. There's two things to understand about network marketing. And that's, one, unlike every single entrepreneur you see go on Shark Tank, there's so much you don't have to figure out in network marketing. You don't have to figure out supply chain management, currency conversion. You don't have to figure out an org chart. You don't have to get a patent attorney, trademark attorney. You don't have to get all of this stuff that, you see people that go on the Shark Tank and give up, their life savings, half their equity and all this stuff just to get a few connections. In network marketing, all you got to do is just point to a video and say, hey, you want to check this out? It's like anyone can do the network marketing model if they choose to. And the second thing to understand about network marketing is, because of this low barrier to entry, a lot of the times you'll meet someone in network marketing and maybe they do it wrong, right? Maybe they, chase or beg or bug or convince or trick or whatever. Well, you got to understand that a lot of the people that join network marketing have never cracked a book open about sales or persuasion or presenting or marketing or anything like that. And so give them a break. The week before they had never had a business and now they have one. And so that is a testament to network marketing, that the average ordinary person can start a home-based business where, some of these other businesses, unless you have some amazing invention and on top of that, amazing connections, okay, you may have a shot. But most people don't have a shot in other kinds of businesses like they do in network marketing.
Well, and I love that you just talked about the barrier to entry as well. And, it is the great equalizer I like to always talk about. We do have the traditional business. We've spent the hundreds of thousands of dollars. My husband's a CPA, has a master's degree. My son has a master's degree. But again, the overhead, my husband will often say, Deni, do you realize what you've been able to create with focused, diligent, persistent effort? But you don't have to have that brick and mortar building. And you get to earn while you learn. When you have someone who's spent years and years going to college, they weren't earning an income during that time.
That's right.
Ray, you have an incredible program and you work with people and you see people putting in that effort and they're earning the income while they're progressing their skills, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of different students from all over. We have our private community rank makers where, we get to hang with people all the time. I go live in there every single day. And yeah, it's just super cool to see people that, some are doing it on the side. Some are, some have, a desire to make an extra $500 a month, and nothing wrong with that. And then some people have the, humongous desires, and want to make Denny type money.
So Ray, what do you see is some of the difference, the people who really succeed in network marketing? I mean, everyone's always looking for the secret sauce. What do you see what it really comes down to?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing is to treat it like a business, and
Yeah.
some people, because they've never had a business, they don't really
Mhm.
know what that means. And so it's
Mhm.
kind of, think of it like your job, right? Do you just choose to, yeah, you know what, I might go into the job, this week, I might not. That's
Mhm.
not the norm. Most people, they show up, right? Because they
Right.
have to, whether they want to or not. And so if you treat network marketing like that, like I have to show up, I have to get eyeballs on my presentation, I have to prospect people, I have to
Mhm.
do things to progress my business, then you'll probably build a business. And one of the greatest things about network marketing is it's also one of the worst, is that it is such a low barrier to entry. It's easy for people to say, you know what, I'm just not going to do it. It cost me a couple $100 and forget it. And you look at the success, and a lot of people like to talk about the success of franchises. Well, I mean, the El Cheapo franchise is $50,000, and you have a little
Exactly.
bit more commitment at 50 G's than a couple $100. And so it's great that the average ordinary person that doesn't have a huge amount of money in the bank can start a home-based business without knowing a whole lot. But it's also bad because it can also be tossed aside really
Right.
easily. And so the person that becomes successful is typically the person that treats it like a business or like a job, and they show up to it as often as they can, as much as they possibly can. Most people that start network marketing are working a full-time job, but they show
Mhm.
up like it's at least a part-time job, and they have to show up to it on a consistent basis.
Ray, that's a good point. My husband will often say, when people talk about the barrier to entry with network marketing, whatever it might cost to get involved with your company, most people are just buying product, right? That they can use
Yeah.
or consume. And he often said, if people would go to work as if they had the potential to make, this kind of money, and they really went to work as if they had, invested that kind of money, it's amazing what they would start to do. But instead, people might spend a few $100s to get invested in a business. They think, oh, and it didn't work out. And most businesses, as he finds out, it takes even 4 to 7 years for many of them to become profitable. But they
If they
keep doing
do.
that, if they do, in hopes that. And so very low barrier to entry, very low risk, but where people like me with a PhD, a public high school diploma, right, can far out earn someone, like, my husband and whatever. But that's what I love about it. And it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, and
Right.
your level of education. I'm going to pull up a couple notes I had taken from you. I love
Okay.
this phrase that you had, quoting Ray tonight. Um,
I'm honored.
and it says, move forward imperfectly.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that.
Yeah. I would say definitely one of the biggest blocks to someone creating success is their desire, their overthinking it, and their desire to get everything perfect. And I can tell you that anything we've ever done just wasn't perfect. And I remember in 2000, I think it was 11, maybe 10 actually. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
2010 now that I think about it. But I remember in 2010, I went to this event, and there were a lot of internet network marketers there, and I didn't know many of the people, and I went there, and the one guy says, "Hey guys, you could be blogging. I mean, just look at Ray's site. I mean, that thing is so ugly." And I'm like, "Oh, it's ugly." Like I didn't even know. I'm like, so like, really, it is. I'm looking around, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's true." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm kind of sad." But at that point, it was generating leads, so I'm like, "Hey, what the heck?" You know what I mean? And so there's just nothing that we've ever done that was just pristine, perfect. But I know a lot of people in different careers, in my real estate career and in my network marketing career, that have been working on the plan and the blueprint for years, working on their perfect target market or their perfect script or their perfect whatever, and they're just not doing anything. And so you got to be willing to fail forward. You got to be willing to move forward imperfectly and know that, you'll figure it out. Figure it out in the streets, figure it out in the work, but don't stop trying to figure it out in your head, because I think that's very, very difficult to do, and if not impossible.
And what do you say are the very most important activities for someone to be doing every day, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, it's real simple. It's getting eyeballs on a presentation. I mean, that's the deal. That is the only way to move forward and pass go. And it's like, and someone today, I was on an interview, and they were saying, hey, what's a good daily method of operation? And so I said, just think about any other thing. Like if I said, hey, Denny, I want to run a marathon, and I ask you, like, how often should I run? Like, is it once a week? Is it every once in a while, or is it every day? If I want to win a fitness competition, should I go to the gym daily, or should I just kind of hang out and go when I feel like it? It's silly. So it's pretty obvious for other things, but we so overthink things that we don't, it's like not obvious to people that you need to get eyeballs on a presentation, period. And so when people come to me and they say, Ray, man, I want to be a top earner. And by the way, there's no judgment. If someone just wants to consume product and doesn't, has a job they love, doesn't want to be a big earner, there's no judgment. Rock on. We're glad that you consume products and support, your local network marketer. It's awesome. Or your online network marketer. It's awesome. But if someone comes to me and says, Ray, I want to be a top earner, I can know in one question if that's really the case or not. And I'll just ask them, how many people did you get on the presentation last week? If it's in single digits, then they're not on that path. If it's, so don't say, I want to be a top earner. It's kind of be like, me saying, man, I want to have 6-pack abs, and while I'm eating a, big chocolate donut. It's not congruent. Don't say I want to be a top earner and prospect less than 10 people a week.
Well, and Ray, in one of my notes, because I took a lot of them at your event, you had talked about the speed of your growth will be equal to how uncomfortable you're willing to get and how you honor your word. So if you are saying, I want this, honor your word and go to work and put in the activity, right? So you really have to be really honest with yourself. And, I think, Ray, that's something that I'm able to do pretty well. If I really make a decision on something, I often say, a couple of years ago, my son said, Mom, do you always get what you want? And I said, nope, I only get what I really, 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 really want. Because if it's something that you really, really want, you're going to make it happen. And so you've got to dig down deep and find out what it is that drives you that you want. And because then you'll do the action steps, right?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to learn different languages and play the guitar and play the drum, but I don't really want it. So I probably never will.
And so, like you said in this one I wrote down, those who play big when they could lean on every excuse in the book to shrink to a more normal and reasonable size are the ones that smoke the competition, basically, right?
Man, you really took notes. That's impressive.
I type fast. And they're the ones that we just see continue to move. They're the ones who are sometimes doing it imperfectly, but they're just doing it every single day, right? When it's rainy, when it's sunny, when it's not so fun to do.
For sure.
And you also talked about, don't expect people to continue to root for you or support you all the time, right? You're going to have to get in that segment of people who might cheer for you, but not everyone's going to believe in your dream, but you're going to have to believe in yourself.
It's true. I think a lot of people, they hinge their success on the support of others, and that's a mistake. I mean, you just got to realize that most people that were successful didn't have a lot of support from others, and there's so many stories to back that up. And it's not lack of obstacles or abundance of support that creates success. It's you. It's you moving forward and making it happen, even if you don't have any support and you have lots of obstacles. And that's what makes the juiciest and most motivating stories is those who did, crawl through the barbed wire to get to success. If it was super easy, then who cares about your story? Like, people want to hear those struggles, and maybe those struggles were placed there so that your story could be richer and could inspire and impact more people.
Well, and Ray, and I like that the struggle portion. There's some people who really are moving very quickly in network marketing, but I love the stories of the people who are not the overnight success. I
Right.
mean, to me, sometimes an overnight success is someone who has spent, years and years honing their craft and putting in the 10,000 hours, and all of a sudden, then they appear because they've been doing the work for a long time, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's a lesson for network marketing leaders too, because it's really common for leaders to really amplify the celebration of someone who made something happen very fast. And they usually do that in hopes that it would motivate certain teammates or motivate those leaders to get off their butts or whatever. And my suggestion is, if you're going to have celebrations of fast success, then you need to anchor that with their obstacles. So I wouldn't ever say, hey, congratulations to Joe who hit diamond in 1 week, or whatever the rank is, like the high rank. I would say, hey guys, here's a guy that, he was dead broke twice in his life. He actually went through personal foreclosure. He lost his wife. He had a dog that went missing. Like, I'm gonna build up the meat of the story and then say, and here he came into this company the right time, having gone through all that stuff, and now he's a diamond. If you tell people your downs, they're cool with your wins. And that's something that more leaders need to learn, because if you say, hey, Joe hit it in a week, most people are like, well, I didn't hit it in a week. Way to go, Joe. Like, it actually depresses more than encourages. Most people are like, oh, great. I sure didn't, and so it's just not good. But if you tell them all the struggles, oh my God, I can't believe Joe went through all that, and then he still hit the dime. So you got to share the downs if you're going to share the wins, would be my suggestion around that.
So Ray, as you coach so many people at all different various levels, what are some activity skill sets that you really are telling, what's a good portion of momentum activities to be doing every day? What are you asking them to do?
Yeah, so I mean, my suggestion, it's really basic. There's not a whole lot that I think you have to do, but there's a few core ones that I suggest to anyone that that we talk to, at least, is number one, if your goal is to rise inside of network marketing, then you should have a weekly, here's how many people I'm going to reach out to. And I shouldn't say reach out to, but here's a number of people that I'm going to see are open to my product, service, or opportunity. Now, if you have been doing Facebook Lives like you're doing right now, if you've been doing marketing and things like that, and people are reaching out to you, then maybe you got enough people reaching out to you that you don't have to reach out to that many people, and you can just deal with the leads that are coming in. But most people aren't in that space, and maybe they heard of that space and they would love to be in that space, but they're not in that space. And so that means you are having to reach out. And so I would say at least 3 things a day, and that's number one, have a number of people, a number goal of people you're going to go after to see if they're open to your product, service, or opportunity. And some, I co-authored a book with the Go for No guys, so maybe it's a no goal. Like, I had a no goal. I want to get 20 no's a day before my head hit the pillow. And I was aggressive, and I wanted to become the top earner.
Did you really? 20 a day? That's awesome.
Yeah, 20 days straight 6 months, and 7th month became the top earner in that company. And so, so 3 things.
Success leaves clues,
I've been telling that story for a long time, and to my knowledge, there's only one person that did that, and they did become a top earner.
Well, and that's called all-out massive action, right?
Yeah.
You can't sustain that for a long amount of time, but if you go to work like that for a while, it's amazing
intense.
What will start to happen.
For sure. But yeah, for sure. Number of people you're going to see is open to your product, service, opportunity. Number 2, I'm just a big fan of creating marketing as well. So one piece of marketing, we have done, this is weird to say, that we've done 1 to 2 videos a day for 9 years. 9 years. Never missed a day.
Well, I bet it wasn't always pretty in the beginning, right? But so you made a decision and you started doing it. Ray, can we transition? Why don't you give people a couple maybe Facebook kind of tips, social media type tips? What do you recommend that they be doing?
Yeah, so I think the network marketing space it's more important for you to learn what not to do than what to actually do, because a lot of what is being done is hurting the profession. And so, if you go to prospect someone and they're like, oh, network marketing, and they're already turned off, just understand that they don't understand the, machinery of network marketing. They're not
Right.
against a category of business. They're against network marketers, right? So not network marketing, network marketers, because they've been either, hyped or spammed or lied to or chase, beg, bugged, whatever. And so we gotta cure that from the inside. And we need to stop, trying to get the people on the outside to just believe, man, just believe. We got to change on the inside. And so my suggestions would be, don't say that it's easy. Just stop saying it, and stop saying things like, hey, come into my company, you can get to 1,000 a month or 10,000 a month and it'll be easy. Like, it's terrible, because it's a double-edged sword, because it cuts off any legitimate person that would have been, interested. So any legitimate person be like, okay, buddy, right? They may have had interest, but now they're not, because you're hyping it. And number two, the people you do turn on are the people that are looking for that scratch-off ticket. They're looking to win the lottery, and that's not who you want to fill your team with. People that have unrealistic expectations, and then as soon as you get them in, they're like, wait, I got to work? Oh, no, thanks. Right? It's just a waste of time. You messed up their expectations with your marketing. And so I would say, don't use hype marketing. So don't say it's easy. Don't say this or that. You can talk about, the benefits of your product is what we suggest you talk about. But I would really be limited on how much you mention the name of the company, the name of the product, only for efficiency reason. And the efficiency reason is, if you are marketing, hey, you should totally check out my product, it's grapey grape, or whatever it is. Well, what you've done is you've just weaponized them to do their own independent research. So now they can just go Google it. Why do they need to talk to you? They can just go Google it and see if there's any Amazon reviews, see if there's, see what, some blogger in North Dakota is saying. They can go find out whatever they want, because you just weaponize them to go do their independent research. Instead, hold your cards, man. Play your cards right, and play a little bit of poker here, and talk about benefits. Talk about how Susie is looking 10 years younger. Talk about how Joe got his bench press up, whatever, creamier skin, glittery hair, whatever. And talk about benefits and how people are made to feel, and without dropping the company name or product name. And then people are like, hey, wait a minute, what is it that you're doing? Now it raises a flag. Now ooh, here's someone that's looking for the benefits that I was talking about. Now I can talk to them, right? And so build more curiosity than resistance. And resistance is you just pounding your sales message and saying, here's my sign-up link, and here's this and that, or BOGO, when people aren't ready to buy. And so instead, look to raise their curiosity, attract them to you, and you be the gatekeeper. They can't move forward without you unlocking the gate, because they don't know what you're talking about. And that's what I would look forward to. And a lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, well, wait a minute, I've been doing it wrong, this whole time. Hey, you got to start somewhere. When's the right time to do it right now? So you stop doing it that hypey, spammy way, and just constantly talking about your product and company, and instead start talking more about benefits and attract people.
Well, you know what? Well, you're about word for notes that I've taken on that. Number one, you said people are, turned off because you sound salesy. And if they had any interest at all, they'd Google it. And Google is talking behind your back, and usually not in a good way. I love that, you guys. That's a Ray Higdon. Google is talking behind your back, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
When messaging, Ray has said, never send an unsolicited link. You guys, again, make friends with people. Be a good human. Be interesting. I always tell people, I always had big, audacious goals, but you have to check them at your door like you would a coat. And when you're out and about, because if it's all about you, people can smell it on you like cheap cologne, right? And that's not good for anybody. Also, just become a great conversationalist, like you talked about. Be more interested than interesting. And it's amazing how many friends and how many people will start to ask you about what you do. And so, again, these are all really the activities that you're going to be doing every day. But I know, one thing that we talk a lot about that's also as important as doing the activities every day, it's our own self-development.
Right.
And so let's transition into that for a few minutes. How important do you think that our own self-development and our own university for ourselves is? Talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And that was actually the third thing. So like the three things is, how many people you're going to reach out to, see if they're open. Create a piece of marketing, whether it's a Facebook Live or a video or an article or something that eventually could attract people to you. And number three is self-development. And so, there's just not a day that goes by that I'm not reading parts of a book, having a coaching call, going through a course, attending an event. So constantly working on yourself, because it is the best investment. And, you know, this is something that, I mean, there will just never be a time where I don't have coaches. I mean, right now I have 3 different coaches, and of totally different natures. You know, like one's a absolute business coach, like just, you know, org chart, human resources, that type of coach.
Wow.
And then I have, you know, traffic coaches. I have all kinds of different coaches. And so I'll always do that. But you start with what you can, which is, you know, books and courses and things like that. And so you just don't know that is your best investment. I can tell you that, you know, we have a couple different accounts, and like one is a wealth account. So a percentage of every dollar we make goes into a wealth account for investments, and a percentage goes into a giving account where it has to be given away, and it's for, you know, charity and, you know, and different things like that, or just, you know, special stories or whatever that we hear. And so of all those investments though, no investment has ever performed better than the investment in ourselves. And so there are things where we've put in $1 and gotten out 10,000. And so, you know, in that kind of ratio is what I'm saying. And so you are your best investment, and wherever you go, there you are. And so you have to constantly be investing in yourself as far as pouring into you, reading books, going through courses, attending events. And that's something that we're just very passionate about ourselves and passionate to share the message with, because that's definitely, I didn't start off, I sucked at sales. I sucked at public speaking. I've literally sucked at everything I've ever tried, but I'm just either too stubborn or hard-headed, or I don't know, you know, and I just keep charging forward, and I eventually get better. But I really have. I've sucked at everything I've ever tried.
Well, but you know, we were all a beginner once, right?
Right.
We all started, and it's those of us who continue to persist. You know, many people
Right.
will often hear me say, you know, I was raised, you know, that which we persist in doing becomes easier, not because the nature of the task has changed, but because our ability to do so has increased.
Absolutely.
And
Nice.
and so it's just doing it over and over again. And it is worth the effort, and it is worth the struggle. And, you know, every big top leader that I've ever talked to, Ray, they'll just say it's worth it. And
Absolutely.
I truly believe that the person that you become will be your master key to your ultimate success, because who you are maybe right now getting started in network marketing compared to the person that you hope to be maybe up on stage at some point will be a drastically different person. You will have grown, you'll have been stretched, because, you know, they say a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that's done extremely well under pressure, right? And you will have pressure, and but it's worth it. And
yes,
Ray,
it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it.
it's more, yeah, and you know more than I do, and you know those struggle stories, and I'm sure people call you sometimes and go like, oh, Ray, it's too hard, I can't do this, and I want to quit. The thing I love about network marketing is, guess what? It might be a really bad day today, but you can fire yourself and you can hire yourself back the next morning, right?
That's nice.
So
I like that.
it's kind of called job security. So Ray, what else is a real hot button that you've been working and coaching people with recently?
Yeah, I would say, you know, another one that really moves the needle for people is what we consider posture. And, you know, I had heard that word kind of coming up through, you know, network marketing and sales and stuff, but I never really saw anyone like define it. So, I mean, we define posture as the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. And so,
say that again. Say it again.
posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. And so that means that, you know, whether someone agrees with, accepts, or approves of what I'm doing, I still believe in what I'm doing. And so the analogy we use that I think people get a kick out of is electricity. So if someone came to you and said, hey man, you know, I was on WikiLeaks last night and I think electricity is a scam, you'd be like, okay, all right. You know, you not for a second would you be like, oh my goodness, is that true? Not for a second, as you turn the lamp off, right? And so that means you have posture around electricity. But if you crumble like a cracker when someone says network marketing is a scam, then you just don't have posture around network marketing. And so I know network marketing works. I saw it not just work for me. I saw it work for single moms. I saw it work for disabled veterans. In fact, one of the most impactful moments of my entire career was I was at an event and a guy crossed the stage and I believe had hit $100,000 a year. And he gave his acceptance speech in sign language because he was born deaf.
Really?
And so I know it works. And so imagine, have you ever had a tough call with a prospect? Well, he hasn't. Just think about that for a second. All right. We have all these excuses of why we can't, but then someone gives sign language, getting, making good money. And so, it's something that you understanding that this business works if you do, and the people around you are making money, people with worse obstacles than you can go out there and create a successful business. And so you have to understand that there's going to be people not accept of, approve of, or agree with, and that's okay. They don't pay your bills, and that's all right. And so a lot of times people come to me because they're so non-postured, and they'll say, Ray, my brother-in-law says it's a scam and says I'm going to hell. How do I turn him around? And I'm like, you don't try to turn them around. Go talk to more people. And so, I can tell you that there's a lot of people in your life that won't celebrate your success or your dreams or your goals, and that shouldn't diminish them. Keep marching forward. Keep going forward, knowing that there's people out there looking. They're looking for the benefits of your product, service, or opportunity, and you gotta have the wherewithal to keep going past the people that aren't looking for a solution. And so don't require acceptance, approval, or agreement with your dreams and your goals and what you're doing in network marketing, and you'll be postured.
Ray, that was amazing. Well, it's the bottom of the hour, and I told you I wouldn't keep you too long tonight. I'd rather get you back on another time, but
sure.
Thank you so much. I really have learned so much from you, and I look for your tips and ideas, everybody. You guys can all, Ray, if they want to find more about you, where do they find you?
Yeah, so I have a network marketing blog that's been around for 9 years now. So 9 years, we have, I think, around 5,000 blogs on that thing. But you can check that out at rayhigdon.com. We also have our new social media book, which I should have in front of me, but I don't. But we have our new social media book as well, Freakishly Effective Social Media Strategies for Network Marketers. And you can check that out as well if you want more social media tips.
Great. Well, everyone, you guys give Ray some hearts and loves. I appreciate this. If you've gotten value tonight, which I know I sure have, please share this with some of your friends who would like to learn this words of wisdom from Ray Higdon. So Ray, again, thanks for your time tonight, and we'll get you back on again really soon. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Glad to have you with us.